There are tons of Bedwars facts that I bet you didn't know about. Since the game is filled with a bunch of content, it's pretty much impossible to know them all. Today, we'll be going over some of the craziest Roblox Bedwars facts you may not know, like tricks, glitches, and generally insane stuff about the game. Also, at 100k, I'm gonna face reveal, so consider subscribing. It's free and it helps out a ton. Number 1. Bedwars has a ton of hiding spots and Easter eggs. In this sand temple map, the devs may or may not have snuck in a little spot to hide. Go to green space, then go forward. Stand right here on the bridge and jump down with balloons. In this spot, you can see a tiny hole that you can easily squeeze in. I'd say this makes for a pretty good hiding spot. The only problem is that they can see your name tag. But hey, if you and your friends are up for some hide and seek, where name tags are off, you know exactly where to go. Number 2. Despite season 2 mainly being a Halloween themed season, the only Halloween themed kits are Gompy and Jack. But ironically enough, these kits are considered to be worse than the non-Halloween kits, like Fisherman and Aries. So if you have the season 2 battle pass, I suggest you stick to Fisherman and Aries, especially Fisherman since it just got a huge buff, which makes your fishing life a lot easier. Why fight when you can fish? Number 3. With the Void Region kit, you can have infinite health, and I'm not kidding when I say this. If you knock someone with the Void Axe, you probably know that you gain health from damaging them with the axe. Seems like a fair trade to me. You can do this to many players at once to get even more health, and it's kinda satisfying. As you can see by Rojo's clip, by repeatedly using the Void Axe on many people at once, you can regenerate infinitely. It's pretty OP and it's a really good way to annoy your enemy. And this works even better if you have the shield gen enchant. Number 4. The fireball has gone through a lot of changes. The knockback has been heavily reduced, so people would think it's almost completely useless. Keyword, almost. We all know that you can fireball jump, but we also know that the mobility kits like Jade, Void Regen have been nerfed. But there's a way to fix that. We all know for a fact that you can go pretty far with a fireball jump. By combining a fireball jump with these mobility kits, you can get some extra distance. But this would be better late game, considering 75 iron early game takes quite a while to get, especially with a tier 0 gen. Number 5. The baguette is one of those items that has been nerfed to the max. This is how much knockback a baguette did before.
Dude, amen for this great game, bro. Amen.
And this is how much knockback a baguette does now, which is kind of similar to how much knockback a sword would do. So it's kind of like a sword that does barely any damage. Next time you get a baguette from a lucky block, don't bother using it. Never trust the bread. Number 6. Lucky blocks contain a lot of items, so you can get almost any item you want. Here's the official list of lucky block items and how rare they are. So you can pause or slow down this part if you want to go through every single possible lucky block item. Number 7. The gumdrop has a wider range than you think. Its bounce effect still works if you stand 1 or even 2 blocks above it, so you can use it as a hidden trampoline to escape from your enemy. Number 8. Gen splitting is a very simple trick that some of the top players use. Basically, one person stands close to the gen, but far enough so they won't pick up the iron. Then another person walks into the gen, which makes both players get the iron, basically doubling the iron. It's a pretty simple way to stack up more iron to get geared up. So if you're playing Bedwars with a friend, I suggest you show this trick to them if they don't know about it. And this trick also works in Hypixel Bedwars in case any Minecrafters are watching. Number 9. I know you're all familiar with the music in the lobby. If you're wondering, the name of the music in the current lobby is Maple Isles by Micah Fisher. It's a pretty good song, so I guess it does have some great taste in music. Number 10. We all know what lobby gadgets are. You know when you're bored in the lobby, waiting for your friend to join, and you decide to run around the map with a lobby gadget. This is a list of all the possible lobby gadgets, but there's actually a secret lobby gadget that almost no one has access to. This guy right here has a hoverboard which isn't a lobby gadget that you can unlock. But this isn't just any guy. This person's actually an anti-cheat mod in the official Bedwars group, so he has ability to spawn in secret lobby gadgets. How cool is that? And the best part is that he can spawn me a hoverboard as well. Like, look at me go. And they can even spawn force fields. Number 11. You can use the paintball gun as a flashlight to light up the place. It's pretty aesthetically pleasing, but it's obviously much better for mutilating players. Number 12. Other than bedrock, the 2 strongest blocks are obsidian and a special coral block, which you can get from a lucky block or a fishing rod. But which one is better for a bat defense? With a diamond pickaxe, it takes 8 shots to break an obsidian block, and for a coral block, it takes 11 shots. So you may think that the coral block is better than obsidian, but coral blocks can be blown up with TNT, unlike obsidian, which is blast proof. And unlike the coral block, you can reinforce obsidian, which will make it break in 12 hits, which is stronger than coral, but it costs 2 emeralds to reinforce just 1 obsidian block. So I honestly don't know which one's better, but at least you now know how these blocks work. Number 13. Bedwars had an update where you can't use commands in private, but there is one last way to use admin commands in private. You know when you spam the chat, it's gonna say you must wait X seconds before sending another message. Well, if you run a command while having that message pop up, you can actually spawn and stuff without having your message in the public. So all you gotta do is spam a bunch, wait for this to appear, and use the command. If any of you wanna troll your friends with this, go ahead. Number 14. In every map, there's a border. Basically, there's an invisible line called the event horizon, where the game pretty much stops working. And if you cross that line with balloons,
That was zero IQ.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh, this is so rigged.
that'll happen to you. So next time you use balloons, do not pass the event horizon. Otherwise, all of your balloons will disintegrate and you're pretty much dead. Number 15. In Bedwars, there's a max height. Quote unquote. With this one item, you can go way past max height. By building up to max height and throwing a pop-up cube, you can literally go way past max height, basically breaking the game's physics. And if you have enough cubes, you can go all the way up to the spectator map without doing glitches like the cannon and gumdrop trick, although that glitch is pretty cool as well. Number 16. If you played Bedwars in February, you may know that YouTuber kit skins have been leaked by Elite Gang. You got the Tanker Grim Reaper skin and the DD Archer skin, which are honestly pretty cool ideas. Number 17. This is a pretty interesting week for Bedwars, because this is the first time where a Battle Pass kit is free for an entire 7 days. Usually Battle Pass kits never go free, but I guess it's the first time for everything. Number 18. Fisherman is a pretty OP kit. With the fishing rod, you can actually get an RPG. It's highly unlikely, but it's in fact possible. You can also bypass the balloon limit if you fish enough balloons. Also, the knockback fish and emerald fish have the exact same texture, which is a pretty interesting fact. Number 19. You can spawn in a water can by doing /spawn watering can, but there's actually some backstory behind this item. This is Zulios, a developer for Bedwars, who has helped develop quite a bit of the kits.
So what all kits did you create?
Most of the recent ones, like Vulcan, Bounty Hunter, Spirit Catcher, Beekeeper, like those.
You created all my favorite ones.
According to him, the water can and Farmer Cletus have been added at the exact same time. So there's a very high chance that the water can was originally going to be a part of Farmer Cletus, but later got scrapped, which is honestly pretty interesting. Number 20. Some of these items in Bedwars are actually much older than you think. The team that created Bedwars actually had an older game in 2020 called Islands, and some of the stuff in Bedwars are the exact same stuff you would see in Islands. You know the carrots from Farmer Cletus? Those were also in Islands back in 2020. Speaking of Farmer Cletus, he has also been around 2 years ago in Islands. He would be that strange old man who would trade crops with players. Pirate Davy was added to Islands exactly 2 days before it came out in Bedwars, and they used the exact same model, which makes me think they were related or the same person. Number 21. Recently, Bedwars had an update where they introduced bed shields. You basically cannot break beds for a couple minutes, which kinda defeats the purpose of rushing, but thankfully, they recently removed it in every single game mode except disasters, probably due to all the backlash. And those are 21 crazy Roblox Bedwars facts you now know. There's actually one more fact I want to mention, and it's the fact that most of you are not subscribed to the channel. Like, what are you doing? We're trying to speedrun to 100k, so if you can just check if you are subscribed, that'll help a ton. And if this gets 10,000 likes, I'll give away 10 kits in my Discord server. Link in description, go join. But for now, that's a wrap.